Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening. There's a one and only Bridgeman and my mucker, Jaffer. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Ox, evening, Bridge. Thanks for having me on Rangers Radio.
Nice and short and sweet there, Jaffer. Can I just say a big good evening to yourself, Ox there, and of course the techie boys you got in the background there. Hope everything's going well with all of you. And Jaffer, chin up. Chin up, as all I can say to all the Rangers fans listening in. Chin up. It's welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, it's been an interesting few days. It's been sore as a Rangers supporter. It's not been my greatest period in my history. But we'll divide the show up into two bits, alright, Jaffer? Yeah, I think we need to talk about the game, the players, and how the game was played out, and then obviously the big hot topic a lot of people's mind as the manager. So we'll see where that takes us. We'll make it as simple as that, Bridge, yeah?
Yeah, go for it, pal. Go for it.
Do you want to go first or second or third, Jaffer?
Jaffer goes first.
I was at the game. Ox was there on Sunday. High expectations. Thought we would be right up for it. And I guess probably quite quickly, sitting in the stadium, I could tell that we just were again. It was that just from an absolutely team point of view, it just looked disorganised. It looked dishevelled in parts of the game. To me, looking at players off the ball, never mind on the ball, they weren't sure of their roles. They weren't sure of the positions they were taking up, and it became very quickly more of a long ball game. We were certainly had the ball at the back for periods of time. We started quite well for about 5-10 minutes again, that period where we got on top of them, and then very quickly we fell out of the game. They got into the game, and that was really how the game panned out in periods throughout it. I thought their chances were more clinical than any chances we were creating, excluding the goal, of course, that was chopped off, that should never have been chopped off. I've still yet to even see the because I was in the stadium, Ox, and I can't see it anywhere online. The offside goal in the first minute. I don't know whether
I'm right in line with that, mate. It was offside.
Offside. But the second goal, I'm still yet to understand why that was a free kick, and I think obviously that's been dissected throughout the day with different analysts on the telly and Sky and stuff with Dermot Gallagher and so forth, and it should never have been a foul. Didn't look a foul in real play. It's difficult again when you're in the stadium because you're not getting replays of it. But that aside, that was really all we contributed. We huffed and puffed. It just seems, nobody's really understanding their role. The tactics don't seem. There's no fluency in them.
Are you telling me it looks as if somebody's giving them a complicated message and it's not working? Is that what you're telling me?
100%. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like because we're bunkering down and because he's under a bit of pressure, he's complicating it even more. And I completely got the impression the players didn't have a clue what their roles were, because it's probably too complicated what he's asking them to do, rather than just playing a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. Again, just the usual areas of the pitch getting really, playing between the lines at the back between Dujon Sterling and Suter, in the case of Abada. On the other side, Maeda was playing right between Tavernier. First half, getting right beyond them, getting balls into the box. We look soft at the back, which really gives me the horrors, Ox, to watch at times. Really soft at the back. We leak really soft goals. And all of that, I think, just feeds into all this, I guess, the tension that was created in the part, and ultimately why the result went against us. I genuinely don't think we would have scored if we'd played 120 minutes. Aye.
Right, I agree with you. I think we started okay, and literally the first few minutes, obviously, we got the offside goal. I don't think it was a surprise it was getting offside. And then we just gave up too much of the pitch, Bridge, and let the first half, we were huffing and puffing without doing a lot. It was just long balls without any football. There was no shape. Raskin and Jack were playing right up against our centre-backs. Cantwell's playing up against the forwards. And Callum McGregor sits in the middle of the two of them and has a field day, Bridgman. Just plays it simple. There's 20 yards of space all day.
Yeah, pretty big chunks of the game. The boy was quite good, picking the ball up and doing what he normally does. Although I don't think he was quite as dangerous to us as he has been in the past. But yeah, everything you said there, but yourself and Jaffa said, it's criminal. That's what I say it is. It's criminal. The amount of times we are on a break, we're getting up there and we've got the ball, and all of a sudden, it's really flowing quite well, and all of a sudden there's a bad pass, loose pass, call it what you like, and we're on our heels, and they were bearing down on us, maybe 3 against 2, 4 against 3, and things like that, It was all happening for them, and they were dangerous. They looked more like, the PSV against us than Celtic against us. You follow what I mean? Because of the way we wanted to stay and give them the space and give them the ball, and then let them try and get past us, that kind of thing, And then all of a sudden on something like a 40-minute mark, you could see the goalkeeper telling everybody to get up the park, and then they started again. They went right on the high press. People around me don't understand why we're not doing a high press all the time. We're at home. And they weren't a great team, so I think Celtic were a great team. But
no, they didn't. Let's be honest, They didn't play well neither. They weren't great neither, no.
I thought that boy, what is it, Maeda you call him? The guy who was out on the left. For them, I think he gave Tavernier an absolute nightmare again. Absolute nightmare. That's what I thought.
So the game started. Well, I'm sure we'll come to team selection. We're lopsided, Jaffa, because we've got 4 right-footed defenders. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And the boy, Dijon Sterling's not really started for us. We put him in there at left back. And I think he done okay without being startling. He didn't do a lot wrong and obviously ran out of gas. He's a right back. He's not somebody that can play anywhere else. You can see that. He's that one-footed. So he done okay, but ultimately, the goal we lost, it looks to me as if his lack of understanding with the back four, would that be fair?
Yeah.
He
played them on.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Carry on, mate.
Their goal, Ox. Again, it's a move that they do quite regularly. Because of the rules, they play with the rules. So they play with it was Abada was in the offside position. He was about 3 yards into our half, which obviously creates, if you're on the line, I was sitting right on the line in the enclosure of our if you want, our offside line, looking across the 4 defenders. And Abada was about 2, 3 yards into our half. That then, with Sterling, it creates him, whether he sticks with Abada or whether he comes back with our line of 4, and he wasn't on the line, which gave Kyogo the space. But the header that Connor Golson played back, from their goal, back into the middle of the park, I'm not sure who he was trying to header to.
No, man.
He thought he was. Yeah, he just headed it. Yeah, and it came back at him rapid, and Kyogo was gone. He was 2 yards ahead of him and right through in goal. Kyogo wasn't offside. And Abada wasn't interfering with play, so therefore that's why their goal stood. And that's why, again, Dujon Sterling actually stops momentarily for like a tenth of a second because he thought he was offside. And it's just a move that they do. It's quite common that one of their players stands in the offside position. He's not interfering with play, but it creates confusion in the back line. And it's the oldest trick in the book. And we should be aware of that. And as defenders, they should be aware of that. That's the rule book and that's the way it goes. If you're going to hold your line, you've got to hold your line. So all 4 of you have got to do it. But again, Dujon Sterling wasn't. He didn't have the worst game. I actually thought, again, like you, Ox, I thought he contributed quite well. He done okay. Yeah, he did. Okay. He defended. He actually defended. Not too bad.
Yeah, he done okay. I mean, it wasn't 9 out of 10, but he done okay. So there's 2 big minutes in that half, Bridgeman. There's a goal we lost and the goal we scored, We which could have made the game differently if we get the first goal. I didn't think there was a lot in it, Bridge. I couldn't understand why the referee. You've got to go and see a clearing off his error, and I've seen it a few times. I never saw it yesterday back again, but I've seen it a few times a day, and I don't think there's a clearing off his error there to change the goal given.
Never a free kick in the first place. He kicked the Rangers player and the player, boy on the grass. And he leathered him and fell over. To me, it was as simple as that. And I don't understand, so forgive my bitterness, because I don't understand why we trust the VAR getting run in Scotland. I want the VAR, and I like the thought of somebody independent doing it, but they shouldn't be done by Scottish referees. I'm sorry, it just shouldn't be.
But remember, yesterday that decision was given by the referee.
Oh yes, and Don Robertson hardly ever gives a good decision against us. He went over there, and you just knew as soon as he was going there that he was going to take whatever advice, because he never saw a free kick, right? He never saw he never saw the foul. He didn't see that happening. He just thought the same as what we say. He's kicked the guy, and that's all there is to it. And he'll tell him to purpose he gave the goal. Then he must have heard it in his ear. Hey, rubbish, you know.
Well, I thought it was to do with clearing obvious mistakes, Jaffa, and I don't think there was enough there to change that decision. You know, obviously a great finish became a roof. At the time, man, I was more annoyed that Stirling Dessers went through and put it in the net himself. When he passed it back to Roof, I didn't think, and then Roof had a great finish.
He done well to finish it the way he did, Ox, and in all fairness, I mean, the way he threaded the ball through between the defender, Scales, who was jumping for it to header it, and the goalie through the goalie's hands. It was a smashing finish. I mean, hit with absolute, venom of power. And the finish itself and the goal, like you, from where I was sitting, I thought it was I just couldn't see a foul. But like the goal that was chopped off last season at Parkhead with Morelos, and various other instances with games. I'm with Bridge on this one, Ox. I don't trust. I've got a real cynicism about me about the rule book and who's in control of the rule book, who's making the rule book. And it all just feeds into it, and it feeds into this narrative that I fully believe that they're in control of that rule book, and they've got their hand in it, and they've got so many of their placemen who operate within that field, within the referee field, that I'm really cynical. I'm highly cynical about it. Why does it always seem to be in these important games, and why is it that we're getting re-refereed? That was never a foul. Never a foul, a game-changing foul for to change that move so that he could pull that back. Bearing in mind, the play went on for about another, I don't know, at least 40 seconds. Maybe a minute even.
Well, before... to be fair, it must have been longer than that, because it took Dessers about 6 strides, so that's a minute and a half. I mean, again, it looked to me, as I watched it in real play, as if Dessers had lost it. And then he managed to play it across the box to Roof, and they got the finish. But it was never a goal that should have been chopped off. They know that, Ox. That's why they're all sniggering. You can even hear something in commentary of the game. He was trying to think of a reason why he thought that was a foul. He knew it wasn't a foul. Any professional footballer, if we're calling that a foul, I'm telling you, we as well just packing up and chucking it now. That's never a foul. Yeah. So everybody's disappointed half time. We're going to 1-1. They've been slightly the better team with it being great, but had more penetration than us. The shape was all over the place. For me, got it so wrong. Then the second half started. And we came into the game a lot more, Bridgeman, and we dominated possession. And we got ourselves in loads and loads of good positions, but we looked void of ideas, in my opinion, Bridge.
Yeah, we did. We're void of ideas, and once again, when you're pressing and your high press is good and everything's magic, you can just see whenever there's a wee mistake pops up and a pass is a wee bit wavered, the crowd were absolutely incensed by it. Incensed. What are we doing? You should have heard them up in Copeland. I've never heard of Copeland like that. They were giving it loudly to them. Seriously. What are we doing? What are you doing? The questions were there. And when they were booing at the end, I was no surprise. I'm not surprised at all. Sorry, I've jumped in. I do apologise.
No, that's all right. So the second half started, and we got to grips with it again. But our lack of width, it's embarrassing, Jaffa.
Yeah, as Ox. There's no there's just no craft, Ox. There's no play patterns. It's as if the players have never played with each other before. Nobody's reading stuff running off the ball. You know, there's nobody entering into triangular passing moves or even 4-player passing moves. I think there was one passage of play just before the end of the first half where we actually passed the ball like 5 or 6 times between our players, 5-yard, 6-yard passes, and that was the only time I remember of the whole game that we had a passage of play of probably more than about 3 or 4 passes, and there's no direction, there's nobody playing on the shoulder, there's just nothing that should happen nothing happening within the actual structure of it. And I think that comes down to why of the tactics, Ox, because I can't see, I couldn't for the life of me see what the tactics were. I'm still baffled by what they are. I've thought about it. I've watched the game back, and I still can't understand. Apart from the fact that it looks like we've got some defenders, we've got some guys that play in the middle of the park, and we've got a forward line. But there's no structure. There's no set up play where, you know, as you say, we're playing with width, I mean, the only thing that you can say is that we're definitely playing narrow, and I don't understand why you would want to do that on a pitch in a home stadium with 50,000 of your own fans in it that are absolutely could have turned the volume up at a moment's notice and put them under pressure. And we didn't utilise any of those aspects or those attributes of the game to our favour at any point. And I'm still baffled by it.
So as the second half progressed, you know, the lack of width. Raskin plays next to the central defenders, gets the ball, and then Ryan Jack's not a creative player. Cantwell's playing up beside the front line. He's playing, if you like, in the inside right channel, if that makes sense, Bridge. And then we're trying to get Tav round the right. Round the left, we've got Dijon Sterling, who's not got a left foot. And then we go back to the team selection. We've not got a left-footed player on the left side of the park, mate. So it's just criminal.
Well, we've said it on this show, and I dare say it's been said by a lot of other people. The lack of imagination from our coaches and people that go out and buy the players is just shocking. We've got all these players, you just mentioned them all there, and we don't have anybody at left foot playing at left back. And then out of the blue, the young Turkish boy comes on and plays. What's that about? What was he doing after the start? You know, these are the kind of things that went through my mind, you know. And no,
I'll tell you what, when the young Turkish boy come on, I'll tell you what went through my mind after watching them for 10 minutes. How did we pay all that money for him?
These are good questions, aren't they? These are good questions.
Yep, that's my question, because he got about 3 or 4 chances, Jaffa, to cross the ball into the box and couldn't get it off the deck or in by the first man. It was shocking. But anyway, he wasn't the only one to be fair.
But we couldn't find Tavernier half the time because that boy was there and he had Tav in his pocket. Tav was end up putting the ball out the park and all that nonsense, you know. Just crazy stuff. Sorry, Oxford.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be, Jaffa, if you snuff out the right back, there's no attacking threat.
No.
So if somebody's marking the right back just stands at right back and lets the rest of the team go over the game.
Well, to be fair, Ox, that's what PSV done with us as well. They nullified Tavernier. They done it with us a year before with Gapco. The boy signed for Liverpool, done exactly the same thing. It's the weakest part of our team. If you're sitting looking at it from an opposition, we're very, very soft at the back, in particular the right back area, because Tavernier wants to get forward all the time, and that for me is one of the fundamental problems of our team. If Tavernier wants to get forward all the time, we should move his position. Because, I mean, listen, I love James Tavernier's goals. I think James Tavernier is an unbelievable goal scorer, and he's done tremendous things for us, the club. I'm not going to be disrespectful to him in that respect. The goal he scored, for example, just last weekend against Ross County, he should never score that goal. But he's coming for a right-back position. I mean, personally, but the one thing about him is he's not a right-back. He can't defend. He doesn't know how to defend, Ox. You can't be a
I don't think he can play one up, mate. I think the game's different. It's because he comes late, mate.
Yeah, I get that totally, and that's an incredibly valid point, because that's where he scores the high majority of his goals, where he keeps up the park and then he keeps into the box. He very rarely will you see him doing, you will back and forward see him doing a 30-yard or a 40-yard run, but that's not really his game. His game is where you're 100%. He'll push out for a right back position. But the vulnerability it causes, Ox, is I think it's that risk and reward, and I'm afraid I don't think you get enough reward for the risk that you're taking. And it's been evident over and over and over and over again. It happens in every game, in particular big games, where we leave ourselves wide open to just for somebody to absolutely run into space and attack. Whereas if you imagine we were actually playing with a proper right back and, as you say, a left back who was left-footed, and we had balance in the team and the back four yesterday, it changes the game. It changes the game entirely. And not only that, I feel as well, Tavernier runs into the right channel, which negates any other player that's playing out there. Because then, it kills the space.
Kill the space. Right, so as we grew into the game, let's be honest, we had a lot of the ball, particularly in the second half. I haven't seen the stats yet, but it must have been high 60s, maybe even in the 70s in the second half. With loads of balls moving about the box, with very little quality. I think you used the word imagination, Bridge, and I couldn't agree more, because we've got a guy who we thought was going to be our talisman, the boy Cantwell. We've started playing him out on the right. I think we all agreed he had to have a free role in the number 10 role in front of two midfielders. And we've got him on the right, and he didn't have a great game. We want him on the ball to create. And then there's no movement because we're centre forward. Well, if I'm being honest, it wasn't the slowest thing I've seen all weekend. I think maybe the Foxy boy going to the bar was maybe slower. But apart from that, I mean, we've got a centre forward who, if he's going to make runs, defenders will just leave him because they know he's not going to get away from him. And his control's not great, so there's so much wrong with that team and the team selection. I'm being kind, Bridge, man. I'm trying to pick my words very wisely, but there was a guy we thought was going to be our number 10. We've played him in every position in the last few weeks. Right, left, up front, and now we had him at the right in midfield, which is a position I know he's played loads before, but we want him on the ball and creating, and he wasn't. Bloody British, did you come?
I was going to say that you've been through quite a bit there, and there's the one thing that is missing at Ibrox. The one thing massively missing is there's no pace in the team. The only person that's got any pace is a wee Matondo. He's the only one that's got any pace, and even that's limited. Because I think once he's runs 10, 15 yards, he starts to think, what am I going to do? You know, that's what I think happens to him, you know. But really and truly, you've got
him and Seema, and when you watch
he came on, but Seema's got a bit of pace. If we should be playing Seema because we ain't got any pace anywhere else in the team. Cantwell's nippy, and he does a smashing job when he's allowed to take that free rein. He's stuck out in the right there for some reason or other. The manager says they're playing out there, and that's all there is to it. But his work was done better when he broke out inside, and he was able to pass across the pitch either way. He could find Tav out in the right wing and things like that, and go in. I think he's a great player for us. If they let him, he must play a wee bit further in front of the defence. He must play that way. We don't want him back there. We want him up there, you know. That's the way I feel.
And you talk about me pace as much as I think Ryan Jack's been a smashing player for us. He's not lost half a yard since he was at his peak. He's lost 3/4 of a yard.
Absolutely.
Young Raskin, I think, has got potential to be a smashing player. Reads the game reasonably well in midfield. Works hard for you, Jaffa. But he can't pass the ball. His distribution is shocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all of that was evident yesterday, Ox. Although we had loads of possession in the second half, they just camped in. They were quite happy. They had the lead, and they were probably playing a 4-5-1 at that point. And I suspected that's how they would match up with their team selection. They would want control in the middle of the park, and that's what they got. And I think we surrendered the middle of the park, which is why ultimately, they could put the two banks a 5 and play the low block and just invite us on and hope to hit us on the break. And we just couldn't navigate our way through their defence, Ox, because we didn't have enough craft. We didn't have enough people, playing and want to run behind. In fact, I don't think I remember anybody running in behind at any point, getting in behind their back four, or cutting the lines or cutting them open. It just didn't happen at any point. And that's something that's been evident all season, since the start of the season. We've not been doing that to any teams. We've not been cutting them open. I just don't think we've got the personnel to do that. Currently, the way he's got the team set up, and I'm at pains to say that, I still can't really quite understand what it is he's trying to do.
I'm sure we'll come to that. Right, so then we had another big moment. Obviously, they broke away a couple of times as we were pushing to try and get the equaliser. And what I will say to credit the team, they kept on and without a lot of quality, but we kept them pinned back. And we had situations, Bridgeman, we've got to do better. Then you had a big moment right in front of you, Bridge. Lammers can run the goalie. You must be expecting the net just to bulge you.
We were. The whole place was expecting it. Why he took the touch, I've got absolutely no idea. It's on his left foot, and he's a left-footed player. Why is he pulling it onto his right? Rubbish. Just rubbish. The ball should have been smashed at that moment, and he knows it. He knows it more than anybody. You could see his hand, and you see hands come up to his head after that. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be lucky to get selected for other games, because it was just stupid, just mental. How the ball's coming to you, and you're straight on his left foot, and he does a fancy thing. I'll beat this guy. I'll turn the body, and oh no.
He beat the goal. He beat the goal lovely, Jaffa.
He did beat the goalie lovely, and that was his Fashion Sakala moment, wasn't it? Open goal to just a bust the net, but not to be. Again, just mental decision making, Ox. Nobody knows the answer to that apart from Big Lammers himself, why he done that.
Oh, and again, these are big moments in a player's career. You score goals in the game, you cut slack, you become a bit of a hero, and and then people say, "Oh, you've got something about you." But Sam Lammers, since the season started, has offered very little. Also, and it was a nice touch of football when he went round the goalkeeper, but when you see the video, and you see the still, and you see the picture, it's a shocking miss. It's a shocking miss. Who mentioned Sakala? Was that you?
Myself, Ox.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you'd have Sakala ahead of any of the front men. Yeah? And I don't know what they were thinking about, mate.
Well, I did think something similar myself privately when we decided we were selling them, Ox. I guess it was one of the... I get the reason why, the business behind it, but I was a Sakala fan. I rated the wee guy. I knew he had his faults, but I'll tell you what he did do. He absolutely turned the defence on a sixpence, just with sheer pace. And the fact that he always ran, he was direct. He ran at them. He created havoc. And from that, he would often score goals, but you would often get the misses that came with him. But it's gone now, Ox. That decision's made. He's away. The money's in the bank.
Yep, and therein lies the problem. Right, I suppose we better get these phone lines open, Bridgeman. Eh? Come on, off of mute. Press the button.
Oh, sorry, Paul. Sorry.
There you
Apologies. Yeah, go for it. Get them on.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
No laughing at the back, Jeff. I just want to wish your manager, Michael Beale, a very happy birthday.
Yes, aye. Nothing personal. Yep, I wish him happy birthday too.
Right, so the game then, after the Lammers missed, the game just petered out. But again, we huffed and puffed a lot of the ball, and we were void ideas. We got a lot wrong. I've said it before, Jaffa. We had two players who had knocks on the park at the end. I think our captain had a knock, and also Cantwell. And if you use your 5 subs and don't keep one back, you're always exposed to that. That's bad coaching.
Yeah, I think to be fair to him at that point, Ox, I think he would have thrown the kitchen sink at it to hope that he could have got a turn. Because it got a bit desperate, didn't it, with the substitutions, especially after the first 3 subs that came on, the changes, which again, I'm sure will, if you want to bring it up, Ox, I think half the stadium. I mean, in his defence, I can only assume that he brought Roof off because he's not long back for a serious injury.
Do you think that was a move that was pre-arranged? He'll get 60 minutes, or he gets 65 minutes. Do you think that was pre-arranged?
Yeah, it probably was. Irrespective of how the game's going. Sports
science, that we don't do when we bring back somebody that's not played any games in 10 months, but he has a saying Roof. I don't get it, mate. Therein lies the problem, the inconsistencies.
Yep.
I don't see it your way with that at all. I think he's taken him off, and he blundered taking him off. Took the wrong man off. I don't know who else he would have taken off. He shouldn't have taken Roof off.
Well, the whole stadium wanted the number 9.
It's just one of these unbelievable decisions that the manager's made. And sometimes when they do it, so you sometimes get them getting a wee bit luck, and it works for them. Sometimes it does work. When it fails absolutely calamity, an absolute calamity by him. And he was told all that at the end.
Coming up. I mean, obviously, I get the red one for Stirling, man, because he's run out of steam. So, is Red Van fit to play? So,
hello.
Hello, how are you doing? Evening,
I'm good. Thanks for putting more again, guys. We're all disappointed. You could talk about this for the full week, basically, and I suppose you will. A couple of things, though. I mean, this decision for the goal, Dessers takes the ball, passes it to Roof and all that. Everybody's talking about it, and there's pundits saying, it was fair, it wasn't fair, it wasn't this. And the only people that could answer that is the referee and the VAR assistants, whoever they are, or how many they are. So what I'm saying is, what should actually happen in games like this, because this could be career-changing, life-changing for Beale sort of thing, and a league could get won or lost on something like that. If this was the sort of maybe third last game of the season and you're level on points and this happens, it could cause a lot of problems. So what I'm saying is, why does the referees and the VAR people not get dragged before the sort of assembled sort of press and let them get asked questions saying, look, why did you disallow that goal? Because they're anonymous, they get away with it. So what I'm saying is, if they knew that they were going to sit in front of the public and try and explain it, you might find that you would get a different decision. You might think, it's easy just to say, he's fouled them. And there's no accountability for these guys. They're just saying, sitting in a dark corner, they're not getting asked the right questions. So what do you think of that? I think that would be a great thing for everybody.
I'll have to put them in the stocks at the same time, but that's another...
I think so. I think the oranges.
I think you've got to watch, because ultimately, you can't blame VAR for that decision, because it was a referee decision. It was the referee, when these situations with VAR, it's up for debate what's been said in the earpiece. I'll get my views on that, Jaffa. However, he was asked to go and look at it, and he changed his mind. So he said he made a clear and obvious mistake. Yeah, so the whole thing was due to the referee, Jaffa.
Yep, it was, Stuart. It was Don Robertson that made the decision. They only, I mean, I suspect the reason that it actually happened was because the Celtic players immediately as soon as the goal went in, started chastising the referee down in the right back area, and the ball surrounded the referee to the extent that he did say to him he was talking in his earpiece, because he put his hand up, as I've seen the replays, to say that he was talking in his earpiece. Then obviously the information comes up that VAR are looking at it for a possible foul. And then they asked him to go and have another look at it. It was his decision to go over and do it. I mean, the simple answer to it all, Stuart, is to do what they do in rugby and microphone them up, and that way you can, then the whole stadium can hear what it is they're saying, because that's what they do in rugby, and you can hear the conversation. And then they don't need to go before the press after it, because they've got the information's coming out at source, i.e. what the VAR referees, who were incidentally.
It wouldn't have been fair on Sunday, because if they'd said it in Latin, we would have understood a word of it.
The two VAR officials on Sunday were Alan Muir and a guy called Daniel McFarlane, who were sitting in the VAR, wherever the VAR room is, the VAR office, or the van outside. They were the two that are refereeing the game. They believe they saw a foul, a potential foul.
What kind of foul, though? Was it because he kicked him, or was it because he thought Dessers shoved into him? And this is what they're not accountable for. They say that's a foul, but that foul could be one of two or three things, if you know what I mean.
It was a foul. That's what you don't know. The fact is, let's not get away from who made the decision. It was the referee that made the decision, Stuart.
I know.
Yeah, it wasn't VAR as much as you might have you've got good.
No, but what I'm saying, Ox, is if he knew that he was going to sit in front of a panel at the back yet, he might not have made that decision. That's what I'm trying to say. If he knew, if it was common practice for, at the end of the game, the referee maybe sits in, how do you feel it went? Is there any decisions that you maybe blah, blah, blah? It gives them more accountability, because they just put their clothes on, hit a shower, and they're away up the road. They didn't care about the aftermath that could happen at the back yet. So I think it would be a good thing if, okay, they've got Beale up there, they've got Rodgers and whoever else they want to have there. I think the referees should go up there and be accountable. That's what I'm trying to say. Accountability is the clear thing for me.
Well, it was a bold thing. I would think it happened in modern football. I don't think it's unique to Scotland, but we have to make sure we remember who made that decision, Jaffa. It wasn't the VAR, it was the referee.
And to add another layer. Sorry, Bridge, on you go. Sorry, pal.
I was just going to say, it was the same referee that refused to give a yellow card to Celtic's left winger. He had 5 terrible tackles, and 1 or 2 of them could have been red cards straight. Look, I mean, he was inside and stabbed down twice. Terrible stuff. Never get touched, never get spoken to.
Yeah, I don't even know if they reviewed the incident in Campbell. I don't even know if there was a VAR check with it. But sure, I think that we could debate all that. It didn't look like a foul to me.
Aye. Just another point I've got. I mean, we talk about, you always hear about this thing, Tav's bombing forward. Again, he's always bombing forward. And here are the arguments, he's leaving a gap, and who covers it? Because I think that's what happened with PSV. Cifuentes didn't cover, and Jack was on the wrong side to cover. It was just crazy. But if they're going to go down that route with Tav putting in the crosses or Barisic, they're screaming out for a 3-5-2. And the 3 could have been Sterling, Goldson, and Suter. You know what I mean? And that gives you the cover if Tav's going forward, Sterling's coming out, or vice versa. And then you've got a stronger group in the middle of the park. Out of the 5, Cantwell could go forward into the 2 and make it a 3 and then come back, because he's quite good at defending as well. But as you say, when you said, I think it was Erox, that McGregor just sprayed the ball. They were nipped within 10 years. Then Ruth, after half time, Ruth started to mark. You know what I mean? Bolton the stable door.
Particularly in the first half. And then the manager says, well, we're playing so deep, so why does it take 45 minutes to rectify it, Jeff?
I mean, that's just that's a mental statement to come out with. To say that he's standing on the touchline, he can move the team up 15 yards, 20 yards, just wait to a break in a play and just shout out Tavernier and Goldson and say, push up 15 yards. It's dead simple. You don't even need to do that. I mean, we've played football. Your manager can get a message onto you. Why wait to half time to rectify that, and then even comment on that after the match saying, we're awfully deep in the first half? Just move them up then. Move them up 15, 20 yards. It's dead. It's really, really quite simple. There was so many things in parts of the game, Ox, that were miscoached, uncoached, whatever way you want to put it. You know that all I believe, you know, all fed into why we ended up getting beat ultimately and putting in such a absolutely dreadful performance.
We get beat because we don't put the ball in the net, and we get beat because we don't keep it out the net. It's as simple as that. I mean, all that possession in the second half, and you don't score a goal. It's criminal, Jaffa.
Yep, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, French, it's criminal that you don't score a goal with all that possession and all the opportunities.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. It's and obviously it's criminal, and you can't stop them because they had what three or four chances against us, and the goalkeeper did very, very well with them. And Golson managed to block one close to the line. But seriously, that was it. And the rest of it, for us, danger-wise, it was all us being putting them under pressure in the particularly second half. And I just still don't understand it. Particularly that Lammers one, I just do not understand it. I'm sorry, I don't understand it. You know that if you didn't play in my team, you'd probably get battered in the dressing room after the game. See, no, I'm not being funny when I say that. That's exactly what it's disgraceful what he's done. This is your decision. You're 2 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards from the goal, and you're a left footed, and that ball comes to you. And what do? I'll just jump past the goalkeeper. What? No, put it in. It's your left foot. Put it in. It's dreadful. Sorry, I'm getting angry now. I do apologise.
Calm down. This is Bridger doing to me. Game man in trouble.
See that? Just interject. See the passage of play you were just talking about there with Cantwell in the box with Maeda that Bridge brought up with the amount of fouls that he had. See, going back to the way the game was refereed, what we were chatting about there with Don Robertson. See if the amount of force that was used by Dessers that committed the foul to ensure that the goal was scrubbed off and it wasn't a goal when he nicked the ball away for their defender. See the amount of force that he used, so he put his foot in front of the defender's foot to make the guy kick him. The amount of force that Maeda used against Cantwell, knocking him off the ball in the box.
Hello? Yeah, you turn the show off, Colin. It's in the background.
I can hear you now, actually,
if you've got the show in the background, can you turn it off?
I have done. I just done it there.
Mate. What's your point, mate?
I was just like absolutely fucking raging. Like, see before. Sorry, I won't swear. See before, like, see with Walter, with Kent, we were going to win, right? And see this guy, like, I just feel he's a bit of a charlatan, like, growing up as a Rangers fan, I never expected every Old Firm game. I always thought we were going to win, and see now it's like, I don't know. It's just like I don't believe in this guy. And that's about it, by the way.
Okay. Listen, I don't think you're alone. We're going to come to that after the tune. I'll let Bridgeman come in and answer your question. Remember, Walter never won every game, you know. He had some bad starts to the season as well and managed to pull it through. But at least you've seen a structure and a style of play, and you might have get mugged.
Aye, exactly.
Oh. And you come, Jaffa, Bridges.
What was the question again, up there?
You need to listen that side here of the show. They phone in, they ask you questions.
Fell asleep.
On you go, Jaffa.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Colin. I get what you're trying to say is that you've not got any confidence in before a ball gets kicked that we're actually going to turn them over. We can't seem to turn any benefits we've got, like for example playing in a full stadium of our own fans on Sunday. That should have been enough to get the players just enough to get the players up, for the match. But I get, Ox, you're right. I mean, sometimes you've got to be careful that you don't rewrite history in your own head. Walter, Advocate, they all had bad starts to the season. They had bad games, bad Old Firm games. But I think, I think all of us, and we'll come to this in the next part of the show, because I know you're splitting up into two, how we feel about, Michael Beale and how he's managing the team and how we move forward and so forth. But I think you need to be careful that all the managers before them were all brilliant. They were brilliant managers, and they achieved a lot and they won silverware ultimately, because that's what we're trying to get to, and that's the goal. In any football team, in any competitive Rangers team, you just want to win silverware. And right at this moment in time, that doesn't look as though we can turn that into silverware right now with the way the team's playing.
Right, so herein lies the problem. And Bridgeman, are you there?
Yep.
We're not scoring enough goals. We're not scoring enough goals.
Absolutely shocking. If you look, I don't even know what the figures are, but you could tell me any figures. It's just shocking that we're not scoring goals. Maybe we get 3 or something like that, and we think we're great. No. We need to put the ball in the net, boys. That's as simple as that. We need to put the ball in the net, and they need to go and get somebody that can do it. If they can't get these guys to do that, they need to go and get somebody that can.
Well, you can't, but that's shoot to January. It's a transfer.
I'm saying that we need to wait until the Christmas time, and as simple as that. There's nothing else we can do. We're stuck with what we've got, and we need to either re-coach, call it what you like, to actually put the ball in the net, or we're going to be in big trouble. So we're going to be back to Bridgemans every week, win 1-0, and that's great,
So that's 4 games, Jaffa. 4 league games, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Kilmarnock, Livingston, Ross County. Have I missed one? Ross County and Celtic, yeah?
Yep.
And obviously we took 4 after Livingston, 3 late goals, yeah? Yeah. And then,
it was 1-0 to 75 minutes or something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Aye. And then obviously we looked as if a good team got the 2 goals up at Dingwall, and then huffed and puffed the rest of the game and never scored after that. Goals change games. If we get the goal, we roof, and that goes with us, it changes the game. It's a different game. We're the team in the up. They've got to open up, and we pick them off, hopefully. But we're not scoring enough goals, and don't look what's going. We've got a centre forward who can't control the ball, who's not got any pace. And if you look, when the one that he does square to roof, how he doesn't go through and burst the net himself, because he's lack of pace against second choice defenders.
I mean, that's the bit, Ox, when you break that down, that's the bit that's criminal about yesterday's game, is that they 2 guys have only played 2 games together. And incidentally, the guy that got man of the match, Liam Scales, has just came back for Aberdeen on a loan. He was actually, they were talking about selling him. And he must, it's just crazy, Ox. We never tested them. We never turned them. We never split them apart. We never played on their shoulder. We didn't. They never done anything that striker should do.
Are you telling me that we got our tactics wrong because we played a big guy up against 2 guys who weren't then worried about his pace? We made 2 other fast strikers on the bench. Yeah, is that what you're telling me, Jaffa?
100%. Yep.
It's a simple game, football, Bridgeman, eh?
Well, it should be football. I'd say very simple for people. But my goodness gracious, the lack of pace in our team is just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. The only steady person in the team at the moment after yesterday was the goalkeeper.
I think at times John Suter done okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, I'm not being funny. Forgive me, John Suter and Golson. I thought they were absolutely terrible yesterday. Absolutely terrible.
I thought Suter was a better return. Stuart?
I mean, from listening to all the comments and that, I mean, I was just trying to think of that manager. I think his nickname was Tinkerman. Was it Ranieri or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Beale's getting that reputation as Tinkerman. I think that's 9 games we've played. They've never had the same kind of... If you look forgetting the back 4, up to the midfield onwards, he's never had the same... You would be able to work it out better than me. So he's tinkering about a lot, and when you hear him talking about the centre forward position, he'll say Lammers isn't a centre forward, Danilo isn't a centre forward, and he talks about Sima plays through the centre, and you're saying to yourself, why do they stick Sima out in the wing then? I mean, what's the point of that? He's got pace, the guy, but once he gets into full speed, he turns back. Where Sakala, he couldn't. I mean, he was running around the sort of Copeland Road if the gates was open, type of thing. So I think he's tinkering about with things too much, and that's a disappointing thing. He's had them. I mean, if you go back to the pre-season games, Olympiacos, they were like PSV with us. We're pinging the ball about. It's like watching that game on Sunday. They were just opening us up, and they were changing about 4 players, and you thought, at least I'll get a bit of a breather. No, they were no breather. It was exactly the same, and I'm thinking, I wasn't impressed with the pre-season. I can you can't judge the pre-season.
No,
but if you look at Newcastle as well, they were tidy as well, and we've never progressed there. So I don't know what they're doing on the training field. You watch some of the sessions, and it looks great. They're pinging the ball about, they're doing this, they're doing that, high-fiving. But there's something just a wee bit wrong there. I'm not criticising the managers too much. I think you should still be given a chance. And you know what could be a turning point here? I think if you could sort of stick with this 4-point deficit up to the cup final, and you could win a cup, I think it would inspire the team a bit and give them a bit more confidence. And if the gap didn't go too bad, bearing in mind it's 2 games, something's got to happen to Celtic before we get back to normality. So if you could sort of just get a wee run going again, which he's capable of doing, and we win that cup, that'll boost things again and give him a bit of confidence, and then see what happens. That's what I would be saying. If it doesn't win this cup, it's all over. Simple as that.
By your optimism, mate, I think they'll lose the support in about 60 odd minutes. Jaffa, my problem with this season was I said we were too narrow, and then we've took that into other games, and we've been roasted for it. What is it they say? If you make a mistake once, shame on you. But if you keep doing it, I can't remember what the saying is. But anyway, I mean, it's stubbornness to the point of, I know best, and don't try and kid a kidder. You don't know best, yeah. We can all see it myself, Jaffa.
Yeah. It's the insanity of it, Ox, of keeping doing the same thing all the time. Or, as you say, whatever that is, that structure that he's trying to implement in the team, coupled with the fact that they change of personnel, a lot of the time. Some of it enforced, I have to say. I don't want to be too, I don't want to criticise for the sake of criticising. I'll criticise on fact. But I fail to understand, Ox, what it is. I mean, you're right. The pre-season games, a lot of us were going, well, it's just pre-season. They're just trying to get fitness. I mean, Olympiacos, Hoffenheim done the same. Hamburg probably in the second half kept skint as rotten. Because again, there was no actual. For me, there's no press up top. It's not as if we've turned into a team full of energy. This handbrake football that he commented on will be expansive. We'll be stretching the pitch. We'll be playing in all corners. I don't see any of that, Ox. I don't think we've got the personnel to do that fundamentally. And we appear to have too many players that want to play the same position. He's got Danilo, who we've spent loads of money on by our account. I know in global transfer terms it's not, but to us as a club, we've spent a lot of money on Danilo, and he's supposed to be pacey, he's nippy, he's all the rest of it. The guy can't get a game.
Aye. Then we've got the other centre forward who does it look like scoring, if we're honest, yeah. And then we've got Lammers that we brought in, who we heard would score goals for us. I think it was Fox, his credit, thought he might score more than Dessers, and we laughed. By the way, he might be right, because it's going to be some race between the two.
Race to the bottom.
My words exactly. A race to the bottom. My goodness.
We've got ourselves in some mess bridge where it is recruitment of your first team players is the biggest thing that a professional football club, recruitment, who you bring in a door, especially when you're not in the EPL where you can't afford to, because you don't have the deals. You've got to spend your money wisely, and if we think we've improved our team this summer, we're kidding ourselves on bridge.
Well, it's made it a younger team now, but I don't think there's been a great deal of improvement, to be perfectly honest with you. I think one of the boys that mentioned that, what do you call him, the wee speed merchant we let go, Flashy Sakala, he might have been a better choice for up front for that game, on hindsight. But look, we can't, we're under no illusions. Anybody that was at that game and anybody that watched it live on telly cannot be blinded by the shocking stuff that they put come out in the park with. Shocking. Just terrible.
If it was just that game, Bridge, you say these happens. We've all seen that movie before, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, pal. I agree with you 100%.
Just that game, yeah? Jaffa.
No, but this season alone, it's been terrible. It really has been terrible. You're given the benefit of the doubt. So-and-so's in. I mean, I was asked the question not that long ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said, well, you've got a lot of players in there that are nowhere near match fit. Some of them will just be making full fitness, but they're no match fit. They're probably another month to go, 2 maybe, if I could take a match fit. And one of those was Dessers. And I don't think you might never get Dessers match fit. It doesn't seem to be, he's so casual when he's walking and running, you know.
I could get him fit, Bridge. I could get him fit.
No, what would you do, pal? What would you do?
I would unhook your caravan.
Right. Unhook that caravan, absolutely. That's a good point, by the way. That's a good point.
You know? But I don't want to get personal with players. It's not right, Jaffa, but, you know, the trouble is, the manager had the full reign. We gave him, we supported him, yeah? And I'm building up to the second half of the show, Jaffa. Mm-hmm. And on the evidence we've seen so far, if you take Dessers, carry control and they pace and doesn't score goals, it's not a good combination for a centre forward, is it?
No, it's not, Ox. And my concern is if Dessers is the one that's showing up best in training on the training pitch with the other guys that we've signed, well, where does that leave us with the amount of money that's been spent on the forward line? And going back to the point, Ox, we've played 9 games this season. We've played 4 in the league. We've played a cup game. And we've played 4 in Europe. We've played 9 matches. And let's not be kidded. I mean, we beat Morton by the skin of our teeth. We get by them in the cup. The 2-1 at Ibrox was a dreadful performance. I think it's a snapshot, and I think that's where the fans have got to. The majority of fans that I heard in the stadium. Can't speak for all the fans. I can only speak for what I heard run about me. And I think that's the point, Ox. I think a lot of the fans have drawn their own conclusion. I think 1 or 2 games, as you say, you can say, right, that was a bad game. Absolutely, no problem. I think the problem is we can't see what the game plan here is. And I think that's where a lot of fans got to yesterday with the match. I think it was just a tipping point.
Mm. Yeah, but we've struggled, let's be honest, in the previous round against St Gallen, mate. When we get the time, we're 2-0 up, we should go 3-0 up, mate. We missed the chance, we missed the sitter to put the tie beyond doubt at Ibrox. And then we have to work hard away from home to get the goal to make sure we're not under pressure. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's goals change games of football. Right, if you don't mind, get yourself a mute.
I'm going to disappear now, so thanks for having me on now. And onwards and upwards. But you know what I'll say finally? I think it's a good thing the international break's coming out. It gives him a chance to work on things. He's not got a lot of slack left in the system, so let's just see what happens, eh?
Aye, well, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, Stuart. But thanks for your call, mate. Nice to see you.
No bother, buddy. Thanks, guys. See you later. Cheers, bye. Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Let's have a tune.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, crossed the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the 40s roar. I've flying the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the biggest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again. I'm back where I belong. And fear of each Saturday I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners all around, I'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, blue, blue seal of my dog. It's the cleanest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue seal of my dog. And if my brother really can wear blue, it's the blue, blue, blue seal of my dog. It's the cleanest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue seal of my dog. And if my brother really can wear blue, and if my brother really can wear blue.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, Jaffa.
Yep,
Yeah.
all back.
So look, the players didn't play well, but I think that the thing that worried the support was the lack of ideas for the side and how we change it, the shape, this continual shape we play, where there's a big hole in midfield and no creative, no craft up front, and with no width. And then because we play so narrow, you just run down the side and you get right up to your box and put a cross in all day long, Jaffa, yeah?
Yeah, and that Ox, I mean, that's a few games I've been at Ibrox this season, PSV. I was at the cup game, and I was at the game yesterday, and the same thing happens. It's dead easy to play throughs at the back, really, really easy. The gaps, as you quite rightly say, in the middle of the park, where they're just and I can't really I take it must be where they're told to play, whether they're playing in zones. I don't know. I tried to work it out yesterday. I was trying to analyse it again, the way they were setting up with Ian Jack and Raskin and Cantwell in the middle of the park. But and even Roof dropped him out, and Dessers and Matondo, who was hugging the outside the wing quite a lot in the first half. But there was nothing happening. The ball wasn't getting to him. You know, it was a wasted jersey for me, Matondo. To be fair to the young fella, I don't think it's him. I think it's just the structure that he's trying to play, which I don't know if it is a structure, because it just doesn't look like that to me. There's too many faults within the system that he's trying to play. The midfielders are not close enough to each other, which means they can't make a pass to each other. They can't play triangles. They can't play through. They can't play through any lines. It looks to me, it looks like a long ball effect, because that's what we've done repetitively throughout the whole match. We played the ball out. Suter played the ball out. Golson played the ball out a lot, trying to play it up the lines. I understand what he's trying to do. In one respect, I would prefer he done that than play about with it at the back on the back line, because that really gives me the fear when any team does that, and particularly if you're not very good at it, and we're not very good at it. There's no point in lying. Jack Butland doesn't look overly comfortable doing that any time I've seen him doing it. So I just don't understand. If he knows the players that he's signing, and he said he's looked at them in the eyes, and he knows their background, and he knows how they can play, then why are we playing like this the way we're playing, Ox? Because I'm still yet to understand whether it's a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2, or a 4-5-1. I don't know what it is he's playing.
Well, I'll tell you what I witnessed on Sunday. Sorry, the boy Raskin, who was playing in front of two centre halves with Ryan Jack playing and covering the boy Sterling. So then he goes in and Sterling moves up the wing. So in midfield, ultimately you end up with one player, because Cantwell's trying to join in and get up beside the forwards, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. And Raskin, even though I didn't think his distribution was great at times, you can't cover all that ground. It doesn't matter how good you are. Yeah? And if they can't see that, mate, it's beyond. Yeah, we've got all these experts, all these coaches, all these video replays looking back at the match and the analysts, and if they think they know better than us, they're kidding themselves on. Because I'll tell you why. You can't kid the punters, mate. Yeah? I think it's all Jimmy Street has been coming on here and said, we've listened to the patter, we've heard it, and it's like death with PowerPoint Jaffa.
Yeah.
The players are getting it, and we're getting it. Nice presentations, but ultimately it means nothing. Anyway, we've been joined by Southside. Evening, Southside.
Hi, good evening, Ox. How you doing, Jaffa and Bridge?
Evening,
All right,
Southside. How you doing, mate?
All right.
Yes. I've not heard much of the show earlier, but I take it you were gathered for what you were talking about. I just thought that yesterday there was no passion, no fight, no desire that looked like for a Rangers team. I think it'll probably about the worst team, Celtic team, that will play in the next 3 fixtures. And I think tactically, we spoke about it with people before the game and spoke to a couple of people after the game. Still can't work out what his actual tactics and style is. And I just think, I remember Robert came on at the first game against Kilmarnock and said, no, time to go. And he made a few of the points. And honestly, guys, if I take it, that's what you're talking about. It is the lack of style, movement, passing, triangle play, big holes in the middle of the park. And one of your most influential players last year, Todd Cantwell, playing as a number 10, is now playing wide right, wide left, having to track back when Tav goes forward. And that's a positive. Todd Cantwell's not kicked a ball for us since the start of this season for what we've seen last year. He's worked hard in that, but I just don't think he's comfortable. He's not got the freedom. And I don't know why we're playing with a handbrake on, because Michael Beale told us when he came in, we'll play with a handbrake off. Sif Wentis will be the extra guy that will come in and make us a different level of team. Doesn't even make it.
Yeah, we've certainly done that, all right.
So, he spoke a lot, he promised us a lot, and at the moment, he's not delivered the sort of the footballing style that we thought we would see. And I think that's what we're waiting to see. So, is he going to produce it? Can he produce it? Or was this just all talk with no action at the end there?
Jaffa, I'm going to put you on the spot here, mate, and I don't mean to, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But I will. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you hear all these conversations, shall you stick, should you twist? Yeah, the dreaded vote of confidence, you've lost the fans, you've lost the dressing room. Whatever you want to dress up. Ultimately, 99 times out of 100, we know how this movie ends.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're asking me, do I think Michael Beale should stay in his job, or do I think he should be moved on? I think he should be moved on. I think he's at his depth, Ox. That's me being brutally honest with you. I think I've seen enough, and I think the amount of noise that was coming from, I would say probably 90% of the stadium yesterday, I think came to that conclusion themselves. Because we've waited and waited and we've watched this. This has not just been one game. This has been a build-up. Just like Southside was saying there, all the sound bites that you hear, handbrake off, expansive football. None of that's happened. None of it's happened. There's no signs. There's not even any like shoots of it. You can't say, right, okay, the defence looks great. The goalie looks brilliant. The goalie does look brilliant, to be fair. He's the one shining light out of it all. But you can't go and sign 9 players and only one of them actually, turn it in and look the part. You can't have that, Ox. And ultimately, I think he's already at a desperate stage with some of the decisions that he's making. And I think he knows that himself. I think the job's too big for him. And I think that's evident now. I think it's like everything in life. You get what you pay for. Michael Beale wasn't a football manager. He hadn't managed at the highest level. He's a coach. And I think that's what we're getting. And I think it's like everything. You've got to learn your stripes. You've got to learn the game. You need experience, especially at a club our size. You absolutely need to know what you're going into, and you need to know how to manage a club and the expectations that come with it. And you can't be saying some of the things that you say and not follow it through with fact. And absolutely, because you'll be held to account, and rightfully so. And for those reasons, I think alone, just without getting personal, because I don't want to get personal, because it's a Rangers manager. But I'm just looking at it purely from a football perspective, folks. I don't think Michael Beale should be the Rangers manager anymore, personally.
Bruce, man, you go back to William Bunton. Yeah.
I have to agree with Jaffa, and not just Jaffa. There were many Rangers fans were all shouting the same thing or similar to what Jaffa said. But they were shouting a bit more rough than Jaffa. So well done, Jaffa. You smoothed that out nicely. Can I just say that what we saw, particularly in the second half, getting to the end of the game and then after the game, no, that should never be allowed to happen. Ibrox, never. We should never have someone the crowd are booing. Rangers fans booing their manager. No, it's no on. It's just no on. And it's not that the fans are going to say it, that's their voice. But the club should be noticing these things. You guys have said it. It's been a wee build-up, isn't it? You know, so it's been a couple of months. He said this is going to happen and it's not happened. Or maybe only 50% it's happened. No. This is no. You're playing against Celtic in the league. You've got Ibrox and all the things that went wrong, and they don't want their fans there, and they're the way. But there you go. Oh my goodness gracious, we were embarrassing at times, embarrassing. So
right. Stick or twist.
For me, he's got to go. There's no way he's going to be allowed to do anything else other than go. He's got to go.
Southside, I'm going to ask you the same question slightly differently. Yeah.
That's good. I was just wondering how you were waiting to come on there, then you're asking these serious questions.
Well, because you were missing in action, yeah.
Aye. I was wounded.
We'll have a note for your parents after the show, yeah.
Aye, okay.
Right. Right. Just slightly the same question, but differently. What you've seen so far, where the players were brought in, could you trust them going forward for the next transfer window?
The thing that I've gave it a bit of thought the day, right? Because obviously you get raw emotion when you come out the stadium and stuff, but you listen to the conversations and you hear you talk to people like everybody on this panel. We go to the games, we watch it, and then we all discuss it. And it's probably going to be much as what we've all said. I don't know about trusting them to the next transfer window. I think you've got to look at it over the next 10 games. We need to go on a run of games now where we need to look at that squad and say, are you capable of winning the next 10 league games? On the form that we've showed in the league, no, I don't think I could say confidently that this team will no go and either get a draw or a defeat at one of the next 10 league games. We should have had maximum points, playing decent football, and even if we'd come off the park unlucky and had a draw one game, you could have said, well, at least we were unlucky. We had created a lot of chances, we just didn't finish them. But we're not creating loads of chances, and we're not doing it. And the midfield just looks disjointed, I think. So get to the next transfer one day. Some of the players he's brought in, Lammers has got ability. It looks like he's good in tight situations, but he showed up all right in pre-season, but for some reason then he doesn't get playing. So, and then we look at why he's not playing Todd Cantwell in that position. If that's where he showed up last season, there seems to be like a confidence issue or something between the midfield. We can't seem to work the ball out. We can't seem to be passing it and be short passes, pass and move. It all seems to be 10 and 15-yard passes. I mean, there was one bit yesterday, if you look at Yilmaz, I think Juraskin sprayed the ball to him, and by the time we got it, there was a Celtic player going to shut him down. We didn't have a Rangers player anywhere near him to even try. He had to go and try and beat him on the byline. we're no a close unit, and we've had time to work on this, Ox. So, can we go? I mean, I'll ask you three. Do you think we can go 10 league games the way we've showed up the now in form, and no think we'll drop any more points?
Where's the goals coming for Southside?
Well, there's another conundrum, isn't it? You'd like to think.
There's more conundrums on here than is in Countdown at the moment.
I mean, let's be honest. We've not really gave Dessers many chances in front of goal. We've not created anything for him. He got himself into a position where I thought at the time he'd maybe go and try and finish it. Roof screaming across the park. So technically, possible to say he done the right thing. He squared the ball and he set up a goal for Roof. Maybe other strikers have been more selfish and probably went for the shot. If he went for the shot and missed it, they'd all be screaming, how did you not square it to Roof? So he's battled. He doesn't look to have a lot of pace. But let's be honest, have we gave him any service? Is any strikers? Well, that's because he's wanting to play with our two fullbacks. It's going to give you the width. But we're playing with a right-footed player playing left. We never even had a player, I think, on the park with a left foot.
No.
It started the game.
Not one.
And, he's going to have to... see if Golson has to come out the team and Suter goes in on the right-hand side, you'll hear people screaming in a minute. I don't care. Ben Davies could come in and play in the left in a 3, or just put him in the team on the left-hand side and one of the two either need to go. That's that simple, because they're making too many mistakes. If Ben Davies had made half the mistakes Suter's made or Golson's made in the last few weeks, they'd be screaming to get rid of him, which half of them want rid of him anyway. I don't think he's a bad player. He might be a bit timid at times. He might not be great in the air, but he can play on the deck. He's left-sided, gives you the balance, and why would you not put him back in and try it? Because Suter's making mistakes on the left and Golson's always good enough to give away a goal. That whole team give away goals, full-backs, centre-backs. And we keep playing them.
Same mistakes. Anyway, we've enjoyed the Robert. Evening, Robert.
Hi, Oscar. Hi, guys.
Hi, Robert.
Good to be on Rangers Radio tonight. Can I just say one thing? Southside, you talk so much sense, pal. You talk so much sense. And you're a Rangers fan that goes home and away. And can I just say, this hurts me to say, see my team are not good enough. They're not good enough. See the players on that package against that Celtic team. They're not good enough. Oxford, and I don't want to come on here. I want to come on here tonight and I want to try and have a wee bit of positivity about my team. Here at the day, I was at the game. Yes, I'm at the game. So I'm a Rangers supporter, not a fan. I'm a Rangers supporter. I was at the game today and that was not good enough. Oh, yesterday, sorry, Oxford.
That was it. Listen, the players, we've had worse defeats, Robert, and we've had worse performances, but it's not, if it was just that game, you say it was one of the days, but it's not just that game, is it?
Yeah, Oxford, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, and that's why you've heard me on this show calling for Bill's head. And Oxford, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to call for his head, because he's made mistake after mistake. The League Cup semi-final, the Scottish Cup, whatever, and the game. Look at the game at Ibrox 2 weeks. He moved Hakaler into the middle when he was ripping one out of that left back. Look at the games. He's made mistake after mistake, Oxford, and you cannot defend it. Michael Beale is not a good manager. He's not even a manager. He's not even a good coach. You've got to be honest about it. And that's why I'm calling for his head, Oxford, because it's not just one game a day. It's every game. Tell me one big game Michael Beale has won against anybody. No way.
Jaffa?
Yeah, Robert, can't disagree. That's exactly my sentiment as well. He said 7 of the acid tests, if you want, mainly against them in the Champions League qualifier last week. And he's failed in all of them, Robert. And he's failed miserably in all of them because he's got it wrong in every one of them. And I've seen, personally speaking, and Rox asked me the question, I've seen enough of him. I can't support the manager and the decisions that he's making, these continuous mistakes that he makes all the time. And I'm not sure the players really understand, and I think that's part of the problem. I don't think the players really understand what it is he's trying to do. And that's why we're getting the kind of these sort of fractured performances where there's so much space between the middle to front, there's so much space between the defence and the middle, where there's no players, and they're not playing as a team, Robert. None of the games I've went, well, that was a great team performance. They're not. It's moments, as he calls them. Wait for the moments in the game. I don't think you can play football like that. I think it's got to be structured, and there's got to be an actual identity to how the team play. And there's none of that. There's none of this width, expansive football, this handbrake off. My word, if it parts of the game yesterday, it couldn't get any slower. It was at walking pace in quite a lot of the parts there. I find that really difficult to watch.
Yeah, Jaffa, can I ask you a question? And you talk about a sense on here, pal. You talk about a sense with your tactics and all that, right? You talk about a sense. Can I ask you, as a Rangers fan, and I'm a Rangers fan, I'm a supporter, not a Rangers fan, I'm a supporter. I give my club every penny that I can afford to give. Jaffa, can I ask you, are we getting value for money?
No.
Exactly, and that's the whole point, Jaffa. We're not getting value for money because you know what? We give my dears, we give season tickets, we give every penny we've got as a Rangers supporter. That's what we do because we are the greatest supporters in the world. But you know what? We're getting shortchanged. We're getting shortchanged with that manager. And see that board? That board needs to step up now and get rid of him. Jaffer, I'm sorry, but he needs to go and we need to bring in, I've said that on this programme a few times, we need to bring in a proper manager. And it's not just about getting beat with Celtic today. It's not just about that. It's the whole pit. Look at the big picture, Jaffer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just to let you know, we've had a wee poll on Facebook, yeah, and it's no scientific outside, but it's just to get the mood in the camp, and it's a simple question: stick or twist, yeah.
Aye,
and it's 73% twist, mate. 73%. Aye.
Right. I mean, we've watched it, as Robert said, right, and Jaffa. Everybody said, and people are commenting. The easiest thing to do is to say sack him, right? It's the easiest thing to say. And it gets even easier when it's not so much the defeat, right? You can take a defeat off anybody. It's the manner and how you get defeated and how the structures, like we've all said, and Robert's mentioned it and Jaffa's mentioned it. It looks like the structure of the team, how we set it out. No press, no passion, didn't even put a tackle in, sat back, tried to hit a team on the break. That's not how you play at Ibrox. No against teams in the SPL. No chance, and that was tactically. And then you think, well, why would you do that? Why would you set your team out to do that? Why are we not going out to go on the front foot and go and commit them and show them up for how bad that defence probably was? Europe, we're out. We're going into the Europa League. If we go to St Johnstone and he doesn't get a result, or that team don't perform, and then we get a beat off real bets at Ibrox, then the outcry will be at the top of the ceiling. Then that's when the board then think, what do we do here? Do we have to go now, or do we hang on and see if things will change? If the football changes at the St Johnstone game, we go out and play well, then obviously they'll get a bit more time. But it doesn't look to be a confidence through the squad, and players aren't daft. If they look at him eventually...
Does it look as if there's a relationship between him and the players, to you, Southside?
There probably is on the ones that he brought. I mean, he's brought them all, so they should all want to go out and play for him and bust a gut. But players aren't daft. And at the end of the day, after a few weeks, if they're looking at tactics, shape, and what he's asked them to do, and if it doesn't look great, players will start to think, I don't know, I liked him, he signed me, but this isn't right. And that's maybe how you'll be looking a bit disjointed at times throughout his system.
I'll come back to you with the same question, Bridgeman. Does it look as if there's a relationship between him and the players, apart from the hand jives? 5-4-3-2-1. Yeah.
I personally don't think. I think he's lost the dressing room. And it's my honest opinion. I think the start's there, and I think all the players, and I'm not being funny when I say this, the players were absolutely shocked at the vitriol that was coming out for the stands, and some of the supporters were fighting each other and things like that. You know, that's an awful lot to happen. Just players just in the door, you know, a few weeks. That is not Rangers. So what the cause of all this problem is only one person, and that's what's happening with the team and the manager of the team. To me, you're not going to get rid of all the players in the team. You're going to get rid of the manager. And that's the only thing that can happen. The only thing to placate this. But there was somebody threw something on down at the Copeland.
All right.
Jaffa,
do you think there's a relationship between the players and the manager looking for outside in?
From a pure manager and playing perspective, for what I've seen, Ox, no, I think a lot of the players look confused, especially the senior players. But I agree with Southside's point, the fact that he's signed a lot of them, so you would have to think that there is, you know, he's got a relationship with some of the guys that are just in the door.
How many guys that signed this summer started the game on Sunday?
Well, that's the problem, Ox. That's the problem. I think, was it 3 or something like that? I think somebody, I seen a stat was written down somewhere.
Butland, Sterling and Dessers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would tell you its own. I mean, the other guys that he signed, like Danilo, they listen. Players want to play football. All players are the same. They're absolutely. They just want to get, you know, on a Saturday or a Sunday. They want to get the kit on and they want their name up in the team sheet up in the door. That's the modern footballer, and it wasn't any different. We all played football, and that's what we all wanted. If your name wasn't on the team sheet, you were gutted. It's no different nowadays. Ox, I think I agree with probably Bridgeman. I think to a degree there's probably a lot of guys in the background questioning what he's doing, because I genuinely don't think he knows what he's doing, and I think that's part of the problem.
Robert, see, when you're having these discussions that you have periodically in all your football with different supporters, ultimately on lens in the one way, isn't it?
Sure, and I don't take any pleasure in saying it. I want rid of Michael Beale. I don't take any pleasure in saying that, Oxford. And you, as a Rangers fan, I love myself, you're hurting. But you know what? He's not got a clue. His tactics are rotten. I want to go and watch. I go and watch Rangers right every other Saturday, as the song says. I go and watch my Rangers right every other Saturday, and I want to be entertained. I'm getting entertained. He's no width in his team. He's not getting any wingers. He's got nothing, and that's the way he wants to play. Oxford, come on. We need to see, and Oxford, I nearly had a wee fight with two Rangers fans outside the stadium yesterday because I was shouting my mouth off the way I did.
I'll have a word with the two wee boys, right?
But Oxford, I did. I nearly had a fight outside the stadium because I shouted my mouth off. Come on, Rangers fans, wake up. And I'm saying it on this programme, on Rangers Radio. Please, Rangers fans, wake up. This is not good enough. Oxford, you must agree with me, surely. This is not good enough what's happening with our club.
I'm going to get on the panel. We'll be joined by Bob Gerald Bringing in a minute. And I just want a one-word answer for all you, right? One-word answer. Robert, I'm going to cover you first. Stick or twist? Robert?
Twist.
Jaffa?
Twist.
Southside?
Shout.
What you done there? That was quite funny. Stick or twist?
Oh, come on, man. You want me... can I just give you a one-word answer?
Stick or twist?
Oh, man.
Outside.
I know, Robert, I know. Robert, I know, but Robert, I'm not... No, I'll tell you why, to a point, Robert, right? And it's only just why, if Rox will give me the chance to explain it, unless he wants a one-word answer.
No, carry on, I'll give you...
No, Robert, like, we've got to put into perspective, I know, but, right, we can say we all agree at the moment we don't know what his tactics and style is, right? We get it, right? I don't think there's anybody out there who'll disagree with it. If somebody can come on and tell us what his tactics and style is, fine, we'll all listen. 4 games back we've had in the league, right? Aye. Do you want to slip any more if we think it will? No. But then if you sack him and now, that board, how are you going to get somebody in and then have them going through Europa League and try to go into the league? He's going to work with the same players, and another manager might get the best out of that squad that he's got in a system that they might all be comfortable in. I'm not saying they couldn't. But 4 games and have another manager we need to fling in, and we'll need to fling more money at it come January probably, because you might not want off the squad, or you might not want some of them, which we'll need to try and sell for the same money as we bought them for. Or do you think, can he get it right? Can he actually?
He can't get it right. He can't get it right, Southside. I'm sorry. He can't get it right. Bring a Rangers man. Bring Rangers. A Graham Souness. But Graham Souness wanted to come into Rangers, and Rangers didn't want Graham Souness. Answer me this question. Why did Rangers not want Graham Souness?
Because he's too old and football's moved.
No, he's not too old. He's not too old.
Too old. He is far too old for that.
Right, Southside, I'll come back to you. Right.
Are you Wednesday?
Jaffa.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we've all passions are
running high among. Stick or twist.
Oh no, I answered already. I said.
Oh, did you put Bridgeman? What was yours?
Twist for me.
Twist, okay. Evening, Bob Jar.
Hi, evening, Ox. How you doing?
Hi, Bob Jar.
All right, everybody. I'm as hot, I'm frustrated, and I'm as angry as anybody. And actually, I'm not going to. You probably pointed out, Christ almighty, there's an anger of mine getting the better of me again. Excuse me. You probably discussed this point many, many times already. I've seen a lot of diabolical decisions in football. And that yesterday was probably one of the most diabolical I've ever seen. And there's not any squad of players and manager can do about that. Okay, you'll probably, as I say, discussed that point already. We're all in a state of confusion today. What do we do? Do we rip up the squad? Do we sack the manager, put ourselves back where we were? It's all for the good of the club. We just economically can't afford to sack the manager and rip up the squad. He just spent 30 million quid that we probably didn't have, by the way, on a squad of players. And I feel you'll just, whether you like it or not, you'll just have to stick with it. Robert, I share your passion, mate. I want to see Rangers winning trophy after trophy like it used to be. And we can turn it round again. Who are with Beale or without Beale, I don't know. But at the moment, I'll just stick. There you go. That's my sort of
I get it. I don't think we spent quite £30 million, but Bob, just so you know, but I always think that, see, when you have these conversations and you see you can't afford to get rid of a manager, that's you saying you need to get rid of him, because if you don't, economically it can cost you more, because you might lose the fan base. Jaffa?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, there was yesterday morning, and I think we all know that Robert will know this, Southside will know that the emails come out for the European tickets. I paid mine the day.
I get mine the day. I get mine yesterday as well, if you don't mind.
Aye, yeah, and yourself, aye, yeah. And all the season ticket holders got them, of course. So £120 for another 3 tickets, and I'm sure there's plenty of fans out there, Bob Ger will probably be saying, nah, no thanks, I'm not doing it, because that's what happens. It affects what happens on the park. Listen, I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know how it stacks up with Michael Beale, but listen, you can't, for me anyway, I don't think we can afford to lose any more points in the league, and that's the reason why I'm making a shout saying I think we should date the now before, because I felt with Gio last year, and I hate talking about getting rid of managers as well. The rest as Rangers supporters, it doesn't give me any pleasure to say this, to get rid of Michael Beale, but I'm only looking at it for just nothing personal, just a purely a football perspective. I don't think you can afford to keep the guy either, because if we go into the next 10 games, as Southside said, we've got St Johnson. I think there's actually, looking at that league now, I think Motherwell would probably beat us now, the way they're playing. And I think Aberdeen away at Pataudry would probably beat us, because we're so soft at the back and we leak so many goals. And it just, I mean, there's probably not a team out there that wouldn't score against us now. And that's the reason why I'm making a call and saying I think I would rather get a new manager in the now, And hopefully that's give him enough time. There's still 34 games left in the league. Enough time throughout the season to bed himself in and hopefully turn it around. Because I just can't see Michael Beale doing it. That's my own shout.
Right, Southside, how are you feeling now?
I told you, everybody wants them to get it right. Nanies wants them to fail. Let's be honest. It's 4 games. You've got to put into perspective. You can
Is
go
it
on
4
about
games or is it 13 games we've watched?
Aye, but they're going to take a wee bit of time. You
say
a wee bit of time.
Robert,
aye, all right. I can go with
it's
some
been
of
there
that,
for
right?
10 months.
But
Wait a
listen,
minute, Robert, just let him talk.
Robert, as much as it pains me to say it, right, we were up against he'd a better manager the year before that we were up against, and they were better than us. So although we put up a fight and we could have won it, the cups and semi-finals, they had a better squad at the time. They had a better team in us last season, right? He came in and worked with 8 players that couldn't even get us across the line. Some of them had chucked it. He got a tune at them, right? Raskin and Cantwell were the 2 shining lights after January. That's all we had in that team and that squad.
What the injuries we had?
Robert, I'm not.
Aye, all that took its toll, Robert. Right, we know that all that took its toll, right? But this was meant to be a better squad this year. This was meant to be the upgrade in the players that we were looking for. This new team, the ones that didn't want to be here and the ones that we had to get rid of, and we're meant to be getting better players. So is Raskin an upgrade in what we had in Cantwell? On the forum, the new. No, but on the forum at the end of last year, you'd have said aye.
We've spent all our money in forward players, Southside them. If you take the Livingston game away, let's be honest, and it was the last few minutes when we got the goals. We've huffed and puffed in every game, haven't we? You know,
aye, because it seems to be the midfield why he's got it now, aren't they creating? And the deliveries for the full-backs, Borner apart for most of it, because I thought Borner had been no bad since the season started and getting balls into the box, and he's had assists for Tav in Europe as well as the following week at Ross County and that. So he's been getting assists, but is that the way we should be going and try to rely on these 2 fullbacks, or is it in time should it really be Ridvan and Sterling that's playing the 2 positions? No, is that meant to be our upgrade on the 2?
You don't see it at the moment, mate.
No, you don't. You don't, because boy Sterling's not a chance to go in and really play a regular game at right back. But Tav's scored goals in the last few games. He does what he does. We know that. And probably when he comes out the team, you'll maybe see that you'll not have so many goals. But your midfield and your strikers is who scores the goals. You don't expect a right back to score. You maybe expect a right back to score you maybe 4 or 5 goals in a season. Both your full-backs, maybe.
Can I come in also?
On you go, Robert.
Right, can I make excuses? See, last season, the Rangers were hampered with injuries. Say guys like Cantwell, Hadji, and all the other players. We're hampered with injuries all year. We like say Hadji, like say Tom Morris, like say Hollander, and say Marwolf. We're hampered with injuries. So don't come on here and say, oh Celtic played the reserve team. No, we were hampered with injuries last season, and nobody seems to come in and make the points of view. I'm telling you, that's what happened to Rangers last year. But no, I'll make excuses for that lot. Sorry.
Cheers, mate. Right, well, I get it what Robert's saying, but look, Southside, the players that were brought in, the recruitment, could you trust my manager to go again so far? And remember, it's no 4 league games, it's 4 league games, 4 European ties, a League Cup ties, and 4 friendlies. And the same problems have been there all the time, mate.
Aye, listen, we know we've watched it, and you can say, well, he missed a game and Suter and that didn't play the last game against Hoffenheim. The 2 of them were out ill, and then they didn't play, so we played this, and then we had to go into a game. Servette weren't a bad team. They weren't a great team. Europe comes early, and we knew we were going to have a new team. So you're hoping that you're going to get through that. But let's not be kidded. PSV was a step up in quality. Aye, you want to make the Champions League, of course you do. But we were miles off it. I thought we were miles off it. And I know you put up a good thing about the game at Ibrox. It's the league for him. It's been thing with the game at Kilmarnock. You couldn't justify because they built us up to we were going to go and start this league, and Kilmarnock would be the start, and we get let down. And then we go on the run of the league games, and they were let down again on Saturday and Sunday through his tactics, his style. So the players he's brought in, like we said, they should be. I thought Danilo done no bad when he came on. He looked a bit more mobile than I've seen him. He was unlucky. Goulson played a long ball and he got on it, and Hart was out quick and managed to, I think he got it off his chest or something. But you need to play your two strikers if you're spending that type of money. And I don't know if he just goes and he has to change his system and do a 3-5-2 or whatever it is he has to do. But he has to get something to get results, and we have to start playing a style of football. And these players are meant to be the players that can do it in his jigsaw and in his head. I think last season they had the idea and we didn't have the players to execute it. But if you're asking me now and what we've watched up to now and what I watched to the tail end of last season since he came in, it looks like we went backwards.
Can I come in, Alex? Oh, sorry.
On you go, Bridge, and then we'll bring in Bob.
It was just to say, I don't know whether our club can actually suffer a crowd booing the players off the park anymore. I don't think they can do it. That was absolutely scandalous from all sides. Everything just, it was just a disaster for us. Like that happened with the crowd. Now, I'm not saying that the crowd were going to kill anybody, but the truth is, that was shocking for the club. Yeah, I think the players were shocked when they walked out the park. I don't know how this manager's going to pick that up. I just don't see it. I just don't know how he's going to do it.
Well, let's be honest, Bob, there's a disjoint now between, you've got the manager, the players and the support, and the players are in the middle.
I'll say a message to the Hale Rangers support, right? And I watched it yesterday just like the rest of us. And not being able to afford to go anywhere or being able to afford to go anywhere. I watched the reaction of the crowd yesterday. And you never do that to the Glasgow Rangers. Or you can voice your opinion in the pub with your mates, whatever. But you never. I've seen a section of the crowd booing the club. Okay, we're a big football club with big support. But the majority of the support conducting themselves the way they did yesterday was a pure disgrace. And that's being honest with a lot of them. Giving it the statement of all nations with the second word being off. How do they feel? We can't win every single game. I mean, we've got our problems. And it's been well documented. It's been well documented about last year and all. And everybody's thinking, it's same old. I'm just forgetting a chance to see with a new squad that somewhere into the season, that sometime it will get better. You've just got to hope. They're football players, for Christ's sake.
I'll tell you what.
Carry on. Sorry.
I'll tell you what. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, because there's times in a football game when the players just have to go up the tunnel. Jaffa, and one of them was just a minute.
Aye, absolutely. Yeah, just get them off the park and get them out of the toxic atmosphere. I mean, it was vile. I'm not going to lie. It was really powerful. And obviously Bridge and Southside and yourself were at different parts of the ground. It was every stand. It was as vocal as I've never seen that at Ibrox. I'm not going to lie to you. In all the years I've been going to Ibrox, I've not seen it. I've seen, as Bob Ger would rightly say, sections. Maybe the Copeland, maybe the Rangers end, maybe booing a certain player or whatever. Maybe just didn't fancy him. But I've never seen the full stadium, and I think that probably is a build up of the fact that I think that's probably where we've got to. And I'm not saying it's right. I agree. It was hard. It was hard to listen to myself. Even, I'll be honest with you. Certainly, I've got my opinions, but I pride myself in saying that I don't boo any Rangers players and I don't boo any Rangers managers. I think I've got some personal standards. At the end of the day, it's my club. I've got my opinions, but I can voice them through different areas and different ways of getting your message across. But we're all different. And some guys want to get it off their chest, and I get that. I think it was probably a combination of factors of who we were playing and the circumstances, because we knew they were in a bad place form wise, and we were supposed to be in a decent place, and they had injuries, and that was all true. And the two guys at the back had never played together, and it didn't look like that at all. That's not what happened on the park, because we just didn't tactically attack those areas. We didn't put any pressure on those areas to make mistakes, which is what I always thought you done with football. You know, you tried to get an edge. It's about small margins, and I just don't think we've done any of that. And that's the bit that frustrates me, to be perfectly honest with
you. Did you feel that was directed towards the manager, Southside, or what was your rationale at the time?
With the booing and stuff at the end of the game.
Aye.
I think it was down to the expectation. We went there, and honestly, that their defence, right, their midfield might have been similar, but that's the weakest we'd probably have played them. I think we went there expecting us to turn up and be able to beat them. I think performance-wise was a letdown, tactically-wise. I wasn't about the whole thing. The only decent thing about the day was the tifo at the start of the game. So expectation levels. I stayed after the final whistle. Normally I'd have been away right on the final whistle, and I stayed, and I heard the boos as it started, running for the Copeland and that, and then the whole team copped it. Michael Beale was nowhere to be seen. It's not something I like to see, but I get the frustration of everybody. It's not something I would do. It happened at Kilmarnock Bridge at his first game of the season. The team, the players, they get booed, you know, at the very first game. So they copped it then, and they've copped it again. Like I said, Ibrox has done it a few times, not heard it for quite a while. And if people want to vent their frustration that way, that's up to them.
Can I just say, I'm just speaking from a club perspective. Can the club afford that to happen at Ibrox again?
How does this end, Southside, when you've got that disjoint, when you've got the support, the manager on one side, the players are in the middle? Yeah? It only ends one way, mate.
He probably will. Listen, see, at the end of the day, see if the players had, a lot of people might go, well, they should just have went after the park, and I've always been an advocate on here. The players should come and applaud you whether you win, lose or draw, and if you take the abuse off people, fair enough. But if you go and you turn up, then you deserve a bit of respect, and I'm just bolting off the park, and they could easily have done that, but they've chose not to, and whether they've been instructed to do it or no, I don't know. But they took it, and it was obviously put out there that everybody heard it, so it is what it is, Ox. You come and play for Glasgow Rangers, and you're expected to win, and you're expected to go out and perform, and let's be honest, they didn't go out and perform. You couldn't turn around and say one player. You could turn around and say they gave their all on Sunday. He ran about, he gave his all. There's no one who could turn around and name a Rangers player that gave his all on Sunday. I thought D. John Sterling done pretty well, but I mean, apart from that, I mean, we didn't even put a tackle on. So how can you applaud? How can you effort and application? So at the end of the game, you've put a performance in, like you expect to be applauded for it.
No. Leadership. The obviously people don't want to go down the carve route, but leadership. There looks a disconnect, if I'm being honest, and I don't know where it's came from. It just seems to happen since the start of the season, Jaffa. I don't know if the balance in the dressing room's not right. New players, old players, different cultures. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it looks as if we're lacking leadership to help with the organisation.
Yeah, well, obviously we've lost a lot of that leadership box. We the experienced pros that have left the club, McGregor, you know, even Scotty Arfield being about the club. You know, there has been a big part, and I'm wondering if that is one of the problems, is that we've no got that. If you want that strain, that vein running through the club, that we've got some Ranger supporters in there, if you want, enough Ranger supporters to get the message in the dressing room. Because I think at a club our size, Ox, I think you absolutely need that. I think it's paramount that that's in the dressing room, and it's throughout the whole club, and it runs like a vein, as I say, between the training ground, between the guys in the kit room. And I know there's loads of real, you know, die-hard Ranger supporters working there, and that's right, they should. in the club, but you need that in the dressing room. You need that voice, that mentality, that understanding, that standard, that winning mentality of we're Glasgow Rangers. You know, we win trophies on a regular. That's our standard. Silverware, holding trophies up at the end of the season is what we're all about as a football club. And I think you've got to aim. That's got to be the absolute target at the start of every season. It's relentless. And I'm wondering if we've lost too much in that throughout the whole team with the guys that have left. And that's something you just can't replace. That's not a light switch that you can turn on and off. Those guys, guys like McGregor grow into that role. And guys like, I'm trying to think like Scotty Arfield. I know he's been a Rangers supporter all his life. He's come back 4 years ago. But that kind of infectiousness runs, and it takes time for that to build. And I'm wondering if that's part of what we're talking about with this identity thing. Because I keep trying to analyse what it is. What does that quantify into? What's the material part of that?
Who of the new signings has been a success then? So far, Jack Butland, who's British.
Yeah.
Is
I would say Butland's the one that stood out.
Yeah, I think Butland, 100%. Butland's a standout, tremendous signing him. There's a couple of boys in there that could be. I think Cantwell will be a smashing. I could put him down as he's a good signing, and I think Rashkin as well. But some of theirs, there's question marks on them now. After that result. Now it's not just that result. We had 3 or 4 results leading up to this result, and I get lost for words because this is my club I'm talking about, and my team I've followed. I'm 77 years of age nearly. I've never known anything like this. I've just never known it, even through the darkest days. Never known anything like it.
I'm not going to put you on the spot again, Southside, because it wouldn't be fair, stick or twist. But however, my thoughts. Well, we employed somebody who didn't have a lot of experience in management. Is it shown?
Aye, it's shown. He's made mistakes. 100% he's made mistakes. We spoke at half time on Sunday, opposite the game. We said what we thought he might need today, and he done nothing till later on in the second half.
Wow.
He got a big job. He knows what the club's about. He knows what it takes, what the expectations are. He knows that you've got to go to these grounds when we go away from home, and we've got to pick up the points. And he knows what he said. It was a big game for him. He was looking forward to it and all that, and everybody would be ready for it. So he built up the expectation level, but at the moment these players aren't delivering a level of consistency of performance. Todd Cantwell nowhere near what he was last season for us. Nico Raskin looked better last season. He still gives the ball away a lot, but doesn't he look great at the moment? And we've all hammered Dessers and for lack of pace and stuff, but let's be honest, he's not any really service because we're not creating. We're putting balls in for the wing, 2 defenders, and hoping that something's going to break. We've got nothing for set pieces. We've got nothing for throw-ins, and we don't seem to be able to build the play.
I think you've just answered my stick or twist question there.
It's frustration, buttocks, because we're watching what we're watching. And surely it's got to click somewhere. At some point, he's got to get this right. It's not just a reaction for the result yesterday. If we'd won yesterday, and that was the only goal of the game when Dessers robbed him of the ball and Roof scores, right? Aye, great, we beat them. But you're still going to look at the performance, and you're going to look at the way, the shape, and the style, and the tactics. If we'd won 1-0. We'd still be saying the same. I'd still be saying the same thing as what I'm saying now. Where is the style, the tactics, and the structure? Because I don't see it yet. And as I said, it's just frustrating.
Jaffa, I think it was 27, 28 games with QPR. Did they have the experience to manage a club or an institution like Glasgow Rangers? Next Bob, then Bridge.
Well, probably not, Locks, in all honesty. Again, hindsight's a great thing. I'm not going to lie, I was a Michael Beale fan. I wanted him in. you know, and probably even myself underestimated just the magnitude of the job at our club and the kind of experience and skill set that I think you need in your CV to be able to even get in the door and get to interview stage. I think it's one of the biggest jobs in British football, never mind world football, because of what you're actually managing. Because it's not just the guys in the dressing room you're managing. There's so many things and attributes to the job, you know, off the field and on the field. And it probably, I hate saying it, Ox, because I feel really uncomfortable. I hate myself for even saying the things I'm saying. I think the job's too big for Michael Beale. And that's my honest opinion on it.
Bob, briefly.
I'm much of the same opinion. Let me diverse a wee bit and say there's a certain club up the road, right? Harris Fence and Bottles and Bricks. You mind of their times? Have they done something about it? Now, we've gone through a bad time. Well, I don't know what to do. We've all analysed it out. We only need to do something about it. It's as simple as that. But I believe that sacking managers and written up squads know the way forward. I'll say good night to you boys. Thanks for having me again.
Cheers, Bob, last word before we say cheerio. Bridge, can you come? Oh. Right, okay. Well, we've reached that time of the evening. Southside. Right, last word for your good self, Southside.
Aye, no, it's been good debate and good chat. A lot of frustration phase. So just have to do what we usually do, keep the curtains shut for a few weeks, and then it starts back against St Johnstone. That's the best way to deal with this, you know.
When I said stick or twist, I wasn't talking about me twisting Jaffa.
Yeah, I tell you, that was, for me, that was the highlight of the weekend. That was brilliant. You keep doing that, boy. You keep doing. You're good at that, by the way. You're really good at it. No, thanks for having me on, Ox, and thanks for the therapy session, as I would call it. And thanks to Southside and to Jaffa. To Jaffa. I'm Jaffa.
You thank yourself now. That's what you call. You'll be getting yourself an agent yet, Southside, buddy.
Well, he signed a few autographs on Saturday night, didn't he? So he's literally...
That's me buying the drink.
And you come, Bridge.
Can I just say, tremendous night, great discussions for me. And just everybody just needs to, for me anyway, just need to realise what I'm saying is 100% straight from the heart. And I mean this as a Rangers fan for all these years. So I don't want to see anything bad happening to my club. I never do. But my goodness gracious, it's just getting worse and worse. And I want it to stop and go away. Know the club, the troubles. I need them to go away. In my mind, I think it's a sad day for Rangers Football Club. And I'll just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, keep it going for the Rangers, nevertheless. Keep it going.
Well, can I thank Stuart, Robert, and Bob Jeff for joining us, and of course Southside, Jaffa, and Bridgeman for doing the show, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. We'll be carry on the therapy session. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.